are you guys? I know I'm a little early, but I wanted to make sure that this worked on time today, so I just did that. So here I am. Hopefully you guys are here too, and everything is working. I'm not going to go too deeply into having my team message me, but if they do want to message me or say hello in here, at least I'll know that things are up and running. That would be helpful. But welcome to Monday Night Live, people of Energy City, welcome, and let's find out why the Cole is asking you to open your heart. Before I get started, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry I haven't been here for a bit, but I have been so down and out over the last week. I have not been doing well, and I'm going through it like you guys are. Hopefully you guys are not going through it like I am, but I understand if you are. I definitely am experiencing it myself. So things have just been really rough. My body has been a wreck, and a lot of things have happened. So I will, I know that I don't even think I ended up posting stuff about the ending of the ritual, but I will say this, because I did say the other day, what I noticed from the end of that ritual is things were very, very, very strong and powerful, and a lot of clearing took place. A lot of shifts have gone on, and what I've noticed is for people is that there is there's an energy of being caught between, we've talked about this before, being caught between two worlds, being caught between two zones, your old version and your new version, and struggling through that. So that is something that is taking place for a lot of people. I've gotten that feedback, I've received that feedback, I've received those messages from people just really struggling with it. And of course, today is the first day of retrograde, right? And as you know, I'm not one to promote the oh no, doom and gloom of retrograde, but I'm also not going to sidestep it and have you feeling like, oh, you should just be feeling fabulous and awesome, because that is not necessarily going to be the case either, okay? So anyways, let's get started. I don't know, I know we had some trouble on comments before, but so I don't know if you're able to comment here or not. I will find out after the fact, I guess. If somebody from my team is on and wants to message me on the side, I can see the messages, but if not, that's okay too. You're all good here. Okay, cool. All right, so starting off tonight with this Open Your Heart card. Okay, that's the first card that has come out, and that's coming in from the Mary Queen of Angels deck. Okay, so with a message of I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. So here's the thing with this though. What I'm picking up is when you really go in your heart, when you open your heart, what you're going to feel in there is what's real, what's true, what's authentic. And so all the time, like, have you ever felt sadness in your heart, or pain in your heart, or joy in your heart, or happiness in your heart? Usually you don't feel like anger in your heart or rage in your heart. Those are not usually emotions that live in there. But it's about recognizing that when you open your heart up, there are things that your heart will signal, and that's the guidance that you get. It's your soul speaking to you. And oftentimes when you get the pain and the sadness, it's letting you know that something here, whether it's your belief, whether it's something you're participating in, it's a relationship you're in, or something like that, it's not for you if it's creating that type of energy, okay? So it's very important for you to listen to your heart at this time. Asking, what else would you like them to know about this opening of the heart? What is that going to do, or what is that going to lead them to? Can you give us some more details about that, please? Okay, so we get the family card here, and I'm just going to pull another one because I do pick up that there's more to this than just family. There's something more that they want to tell you about family. Okay, so these two cards have come in here. It's the Open Your Heart card, but we've got the Trust card in reverse, and we've got the Optimism card in reverse, following the family card. And what that's telling me is that in the past, due to issues in the family or situations in your family, you may have lost trust in your heart. You may have lost that feeling of optimism in your heart, because through your upbringing, through your family situations or relationships, it's caused you to kind of create some closedness, some shutting off of your heart. So this is where this is coming from. Okay, so what can they do about that? What more do they need to know, or what can they do about this? Okay, so 3 cards came out there. So we've got patience, hope, and at the bottom there, that's feminine. Okay. So what they're saying here is, I get this feminine card first, which is I allow my feminine nature, okay, we're not talking about being female, but my feminine nature to shine brightly as a valuable part of my identity. So what I'm picking up around this is, how do you move past some of these issues? How do you move past some of this stuff? It's to nurture yourself. It's to be in the creation of something new, right? Because our feminine energy, nurturing, creative, fluid, flowing. So it's about flowing emotions through, allowing things to flow through you, allowing feelings to rise, to bubble up to the surface, come to your heart and let them be, cleansed, washed, whatever you want to call it. But that's what I'm picking up. So it's when this optimism has been sort of in reverse, it's been crushed, and now we're starting off with hope. Now, if you gave me 2 options and you said to me, okay, you can either choose to be hopeful or optimistic, I would take optimism. Because with optimism, I feel as though it's stronger than hope. Hopefulness to me is a little bit wishy-washy, whereas optimism is a little bit more focused, okay? But what I'm picking up with this is that why they're giving you the hope and the patience card is, just start with hope and be patient so that you can, get back into optimism and be optimistic about that. Being able to trust again, being able to trust your family, being able to trust yourself, being able to trust your heart, because that's what I'm picking up is that there's a getting to know you, and like, we don't try to go back to be our old selves. We don't want to go there, because when you're trying to go back to your old self, you don't have the knowledge and the experience in your old self. So we try to create new, okay? So as we're going forward, you want to be yourself with the experiences that you've had, but you want to create a version of you that has that trust in your heart, that has that optimism in your heart, okay? And that you're creating from your heart. That's what they're saying here. Sorry, if you see me wincing, it's because my hands are in excruciating pain. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So we have the grace card here saying, I'm filled with the same beauty, poise, and divine perfection as all of God's other creatures. So it's about having this grace in yourself, to realize, everybody goes through things in life, no matter what, okay? I've had some very tragic events in my life over the last 7 days. And the more I speak to people, the more I have been really pressing into what causes these things. So what I'm saying to you is to have this grace in the knowledge of, in the knowledge that we all come here with good intentions. We all come into this world. There's no bad babies that come into this world that are, that's just not a thing. So whatever we are, whatever people are, it's a product of their life experience, their world, their model of the world, their teachings, their observations, okay? But everybody has the same goodness in them and the same, I'll use the word badness, okay? So we have both. We all do, okay? The ability is there for each and every one of us. So what they're saying is, as you move through this phase, and even today I was talking to my own mother, and I kind of had to say to her, because she's like, oh, where did I, where would I have gone wrong? And I was like, it really isn't about that, Mom. As people, as human beings, you and my dad, came together, and you're walking through your lives as individuals, and then you come together, and you only know what you know as you know it. And some of the things you know may not be great things to know, or might be not be great ways of doing things, but it's what you believe is the way to do things. Of course, you prioritize whatever you believe is the priority at that time, and you function from there. And for those of us who are parents, that's pretty much how we do it. And in terms of life, if you're not a parent, it's how you will govern your life in terms of your relationships, or your career, or your relationship in terms of how you are, say at your job. It's what you'll look for. So in life, we will look to try to recreate or engage in things that give us that feeling, or that follow along with the beliefs that we think. Those are the things that were good for us. Those are the things that we accept and enjoyed and felt good about, have positive thoughts about. But we'll try to avoid the things that we don't think are good, and we'll try to do the opposite, because that's how our brain works. Our brain says, if up is bad, then down must be good. And that's not always true, And so it's a matter of understanding that, and as I was saying to my mom, it's like, it really doesn't matter, Mom. It doesn't matter what you did or didn't do at this point in time. The only thing we can do is respect that, myself towards my parents, or us towards other people, is that having that grace to know that we are filled with the same beauty and poise and divine perfection as all of God's other creations, as well as we're filled with all the other crap that we don't like too. Okay? So when you know that you are one with everything, when you know that you are one with everyone, then you start to kind of dial back on the resentment and the anger and the jealousy and the comparison and the judgment and, okay? And you get into a place where you see people like just as you are. And that is a real game changer. And it is not always easy to do, but if you really try to put yourself, like, not you, the way you know, but actually walk in someone else's shoes as them, it makes a really big difference. Okay? All right. Let's see what else they want to tell you here. Okay. Interesting that we have the feminine card, but also we have the father card. So I'm picking this up around, there's issues that have to be dealt with around father figures. It could be relationships with men. You don't have to be a female to have this be relevant, or identify as a female, whatever it is. But it does have to do with father figures, whether it be the one that was there for you, whether it be the one that was absent for you. But this does have to do with father figures, and how they showed up, and how you view men in this world. How you view the patriarchy. Those are all things that, it's funny in a way, but I have 4 dogs. 2 females, 2 males, a mom and a dad, and a brother and a sister. And the little girl is in heat right now. And so we keep them separate. And the little girl came downstairs, and the 2 males, so one was her father. I mean, it's not the same in the animal kingdom, right? Anyway, but the father and the brother. And they're all on her and all over her and chasing her around during dinner. And my son says to her, well, you're causing a lot of trouble. Let's go, because you're causing all this trouble. And I was like, I'm sorry, Cleo, are you being accused of causing trouble because the 2 males around here can't keep to themselves? And they're actually the ones causing trouble, but you're being blamed by the male handler. And kind of like joking, but not really, because that's a lot of what happens. And so we have to look at, how we're being impacted by the masculine, not just energies, but actually the physical masculines in our lives, and how we have been impacted. That is what is coming up here. That is something to take a look at, okay? So there's a gratitude that you're being guided to offer, because whether you perceive whoever these men are, whether it's, father, your own father, your father figure, your boss at work, your husband, your partner, whatever it is. They're letting you know that having gratitude for whatever has come your way, whether at the time it was something that you perceived as positive or negative, is to always be thankful for what comes our way. And I know that sometimes that can be very challenging for people, because you're like, you want me to be thankful for this horrible thing, or the poor treatment that I got, or whatever. But honestly, you guys, the things that lead you to be, when I say self-sufficient, I mean from a perspective of being whole within yourself, that lead you to really lean into yourself for the things that you need, because you really and truly are the only one that can fulfill and give you everything that you need. Okay, and then once you have everything you need, then you're in a position to go out and maybe share that. But if you don't have like true love for yourself, you're not going to be able to attract true love from someone else, or share true love with someone else, because you won't have that. Okay, if you don't see yourself as abundant, you won't be able to go out and like see the abundance within yourself. You won't be able to go out and attract the abundance from elsewhere and bring that into you. So that's something to really recognize, is that gratitude. Okay. There's a lot of cards that came out here. I'm just gonna ask them for one. Yeah. So the final card for this deck is the God card. And it says, I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me in this situation. You know, the start of this deck and these messages came out with open your heart, and, you know, allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. And then this card says, I am stepping out of the way and surrendering any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me in this situation. Well, this is it, because it's like you're being asked, and they're sort of telling you why and what needs to happen and what that's going to do for you, but also showing you that the healing is going to come through you. There isn't going to be that much that you have to do, because as long as you open your heart to everything, you open your heart to whatever you want to call that energy. This deck is calling it God. You can call it source, you can call it universe, you can call it like boo-boo-hoo, I don't care. But it's like, this is what they're telling you, is that you tune into that energy, you open your heart, and you allow that higher source, higher frequency to come through you, and those universal energies, and that is going to help move things along for you. Okay? All right. So I'm going to leave that deck there. We're moving on into the next deck, which is the Divine Feminine. So that's the Divine Feminine Oracle, asking for the pull to come through with guidance through the Divine Feminine Oracle for this collective, for their highest and happiest good. Okay, so the first card that's coming out here in reverse is Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. So that is, again, picking up on what we were just talking about, because I'm sensing as we're coming to the close of a year, I do pick up that there is some lack of abundance taking place within this collective. People that are, you know, times economy, whatever it might be, but that there may be some sort of financial challenge, struggle, whatever you want to call it. But what's happening is you have to, like I said, you need to choose to feel that abundance. And let's see here what they have to say. Let's get some more guidance on this. Okay, 73. So it's like abundance looks different to each of us. Some people have incalculable material wealth, but are bereft of a sense of purpose or a greater vision for their life, and so are left feeling lost. While others are considered poor in financial wealth, but walk around radiating love and the kind of light that has an inestimable worth. Lakshmi is the auspiciousness that begins to bloom in our life when we align our every action with the work our soul has come here to do. okay? So she reminds us of the ultimate goal, which is not making money, but being able to know your true bliss. What makes you feel lit up like a glow stick while you're doing it? What work doesn't feel like work at all? Lakshmi is a wink to find that vocation, that bliss, so that what is within us comes into full bloom through something we can do and show the world. Okay? Lakshmi represents both gold and both the gold we can hold in our hands and the gold we can become by doing work that feeds our soul. She's the reminder that true abundance doesn't come from our bank statement, it comes from a state of mind we enter when we know we are contributing great worth to the world in the effort of becoming more love. So what I'm picking up actually with this card coming in reverse is that part of the reason you might be struggling with abundance is that you're not seeing the worth in yourself. And what happens with that is if you're not truly seeing the value, and I'm not talking about like that ego type of sight. I'm talking about your soul sight of seeing the value of yourself and your contribution of just waking up and breathing every day, okay? Like just showing up. That you being here in itself is where your value lies. And so what they're saying with that is that if you don't see the value in yourself and you don't recognize value, it's almost as though the universe is saying, well, there's no point in giving you money because you don't see the value in it, right? So imagine if I were going to, I don't know, if I was going to give you something. So for instance, my mother has an affinity for collecting gold sovereign coins, and she's been collecting them for years, and they're worth, you know, hundreds of dollars, what have you, and she puts them into jewelry. I don't see the value in. I know the monetary value. I don't have value for that. So it's probably not something that when she decides to distribute her jewelry or whatever, that she's going to give to me, because they're like, well, she wouldn't appreciate this. She doesn't see the value in it, so she won't even know its worth. She won't even know what to do with it. And that's partially what I'm picking up here too with the abundance piece, is that people are not aware of their own value, and therefore not emanating that vibration, not emitting that vibration of abundance, and not like showing the universe that you know the value of it. So they're like, okay, well, it's almost like it's not going to be worth anything to you because you're not seeing that. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so yeah, pretty sure this is first. So the card that comes up next is Yemoha, the goddess of all that flows. So it says, I am the ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. So again, this is further confirmation or more, an extension of the first card deck when the feminine energy card came up and says, you know, I give birth to what exists within me. If you are birthing lack, if what exists within you is a lack of abundance, then guess what you're birthing? A lack of abundance. If what you're birthing is, you know, if what's existing within you is you, like, not having the job you want, or not having the money you want, not having the lover that you want, not having the life that you want, then that's what you're going to continue birthing. So it's really, you know, because here's the next card is Lala, the saint of spoken words. And it's like every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. Guys, do you know what that means? If you are talking about things from a lack perspective and what you don't have, that means, like, in essence, you are praying to not have it. You're praying to not have it. Because your words, every word you speak is like a prayer. It's like an asking. Okay, so if you're carrying on, you're giving a lot of airtime to stuff that you don't have, we're talking about what you don't have, or what you don't want, or what isn't working, and you're doing all of that, then you're really just praying for more, right? And so what the other card that comes up is the Kali card, which is the mother of the universe. See, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. But what I'm picking up is like, if you're not being your true self, like, I know she says, I release all that doesn't serve me, but I almost feel like the mother of the universe is coming to say to you, look, if you don't see your value, then I'm not coming here to give you things to value because you don't value them anyways. If you can't see the value in someone like yourself, you're not going to see the value in the rest of it. It's kind of a waste. That's what I'm picking up. Okay. So we have Mary Magdalene in reverse, the apostle to the apostles. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. Listen, if I were going to create like a logo, I guess it would be, or an image for this collective, it would be a bridge. It really would be a bridge, because every card deck, some way, shape, or form, it always comes down to this bridge, okay? So here we go again with the bridge. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. It's like, what you have to do is bridge your mind and your, like, you have to, your body is the really the humanness, and your spirit is your soulfulness, okay? The mind is kind of the thing that bridges those two together. And so your soul kind of has to go through the mind to get to the body, and your body kind of does things that go through the mind to get to the soul, and this is this two-way street, this bridge. But if the mind is like effed up, it's almost as like they're not letting anybody through, they're letting the wrong people through, you know, like think if your mind is the border, you know, the what do you call that, the border security, okay? And so what, each way they're there to put, the mind is there thinking it's protecting everybody and letting through what meets the requirements. But if your mind has the wrong criteria, you know, I remember traveling to Michigan a couple of years ago, and I got pulled over and started being asked, like, did I have x-rays recently or any radiation? And I was like, what are you talking about? No, like, I didn't get it. But because it was the car beside me that was setting off this radiation alarm, and they thought it was me, okay, because they had the wrong information. But that's what's happening here with the mind, is what I'm getting, is that because the mind is like connected to a flawed thinking, or programmed with some flawed criteria or flawed thinking, it's creating these issues, okay? So then we also have Catherine Labouré, the patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. Well, this card is coming in reverse. Okay, so we're dodging the healing. Okay, and then we get Dakini, the enlightened feminine. So there's that feminine energy again. My gut instinct is wide beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. So what they're saying is, we're not trusting in the miracles. We're not allowing the healing. We need to be using our instincts, which is part of our feminine energy, that female intuition, okay? Men have more of a primal instinct. Women have more of an inner intuition, okay? So we get Perpetua here, the saint of authenticity. And I am my authentic self in all circumstances. What's happening, I'm hearing here, is that your mind doesn't really know how to discern what's authentic and what's not, and it is not easy. Okay, I'm not gonna say like, oh, what are you, stupid? Like, how do you, no, because everything out here is an illusion, right? There's so much illusion that's being put before you. There's so much fakeness that's being put before you that it's very challenging to discern. But that is part of the enlightenment, because your light within you lights up for you to see more clearly, to see through all of that illusion. And that's what this is talking about, okay? All right, from there, and interesting enough, because when they were giving me the decks, and they're sort of talking about the hesitancy or resistance toward healing. The last deck is the Archangel Raphael healing deck, okay? So I gather they're going to give us some insight now, asking Nicole for guidance through the Archangel Raphael healing oracle cards. That is for the highest and happiest good for this collective. I'm assuming, but I'm asking, can you please tell them through this deck how to go about with some of the healing, and like what's going to help them to heal? Okay, so these are some pretty concrete things, guys. So the first card we get is being caffeine free. So dear Archangel Raphael, I ask that you cut my cords of attachment to caffeine so that I may honor my body's natural energy rhythms without chemicals. So this is, encouraging you guys to steer clear of caffeine, okay? What I pick up is around the chemical reaction that is taking place from the caffeine is part of what is creating this sort of imbalance in the mind, okay? So that's going to be, your coffee, black tea has caffeine, your colas, etc. I feel like the comments are not working because I feel like you guys would be yelling at me right now if you could comment. So I'm going to be like, maybe the comments are not working. Okay. Ooh. All right. So sleep is the other thing that's coming up, a good night's sleep. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me relax and sleep deeply, for I know that you are guiding, healing, and protecting me while I rest. Sleep is very important for you guys. If you need naps during the day, I'm being told, take them, but you're doing a lot of healing during the sleep because you have less resistance during that time. So, make sure that you're getting whatever the requirement is for you. I'm not going to say your full 8 hours or whatever because everybody's body is different. Pay attention to what you need for you, okay? We get the laughter is the best medicine card in reverse. So, dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for reminding me to detach and find the humor and irony with every human drama. I really always try to. Sometimes it might feel inappropriate or like, what's wrong with you? But I find that finding kind of the, a way to just lighten the situation up, whatever it is, and trust me, I've had some very deep, dark situations this week. It's like you just have to find a way to let it lighten up, okay? We get the children card here, which, dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me to help children. But what I picked this up is part of what's going to be for your healing. This is either spend time with your children. This is either heal your inner child. This is either be more playful, get into that more natural play, do things more that are a little bit more childlike and kind of just be silly. But, okay, hang on here. Let me see what they say. Doing things that are going to increase your energy, okay? So thank you for filling me with the unlimited energy of divine love and light. If it's not uplifting you, if it's not giving what's the word they're giving, like increasing your energy, if it's not boosting you up after you do it, then it's draining you. So you have to really look at those things. And now's the time to look at what are the things that fuel you, because increased energy means you're feeding your soul, okay? If you're having drained energy, it means you're feeding your ego, right? Inner authority here, okay? Thank you for supporting me as I take back my power and listen to my intuition, desires, and feelings. This is what I'm talking about again, is who are you giving that inner authority to? Are you giving it to your ego, or are you giving it to your soul? Because somebody's got to take charge. Somebody will. And if you are not deliberately choosing that for yourself, whoever the go-to is going to win. And for most of us, it's our ego. Okay. In reverse, calling upon our Archangel Raphael for help. Asking for help, ask for healing. As I'm going through the physical symptoms that I'm experiencing, every day I'm asking, I know I'm healed, show me the things. So all different supplements, inspiration or intuition coming up for me to visit different practitioners. It's all coming together for me to unveil what I need. But I'm asking for healing daily. I'm asking to be shown. And then I'm kind of sitting back and awaiting the guidance to come through to me in one way or another. Okay, yeah, the detoxification needs to take place, guys. Thank you for cleaning up my body, mind, and life so that I may happily and healthily live free of chemicals. Look, I'm gonna say this to you. We're not here to judge you or tell you what to eat or not to eat, or what to drink or not to drink, or what to smoke or not to smoke, or inhale or swallow, or whatever you're doing out there. I'm not here for that. But what we will tell you is that when you want to get into that space, okay, that aligned space, it takes a certain level of frequency. And most of those things, okay, in the way that people use them, will not allow you to be there. So am I going to say, I don't have a drink once in a while? Nope, I'm not going to tell you that. Am I going to say that I don't eat processed food once in a while? Nope, I can't tell you that either. Okay, but I can tell you that for the most part, I rarely engage in those practices, and if I do, I'm very cautious about it, and I make sure that after the fact, I take the necessary steps to detoxify or replenish my energy on the physical and the spiritual and the mental level. Okay? But many of us, prior to getting into that space, are using these things as coping mechanisms, using them for dopamine hits, using them to just like give us quick fixes, like a little pleasure fix, right? And so there is a detoxification that needs to take place. And if it's one thing I've seen, that whenever I introduce, right, if I ever have allowed myself to guide you from a place where I talk to you, I instruct you on your diet and what you consume, etc. There are things that I'll tell people to take or eat or consume, and they'll be like, oh, it's so gross, it's so awful, I don't like this, I don't want. I'm like, you know why? Because when you're out of alignment, the things that you need will taste horrible. They will taste horrible because they're not in alignment with your out of alignment taste buds. But when you get into alignment, those things will taste amazing to you. Okay? And that's also goes for the things that you used to enjoy. When you get into alignment, you no longer enjoy them, and so you'll feel like, oh, you're giving something up, but you're really not, because when you're allowed, you have free will, you can choose whatever you want, you just won't want it anymore, because it will just drain you, it'll bring you down, it'll cloud up your energy and your body, and you just won't want it. Okay? And so they're saying to you, last final messages, give us your cares. Okay? Dear God and Archangel Raphael, I am willing to release any fears to you. Please allow me to completely let go so that you can fully guide me in this situation. So you're being guided, to release any fears you have, which means just be like, you know what, everything is going to work out. I'm just going to have complete faith in here. And the card that they followed that up with is prayer works. Okay, why does prayer work? Well, let's go back over here, and what do we know about what's got us into the situation in the first place? So we go back into the other deck, and we get back to where we had Lala there, the saint of the spoken words, and she says, every word I say becomes a prayer. I'm the author of my own story. Look, words, prayers, we break that down. Well, what are prayers? Prayers are words that are spoken. Prayers are whatever you're speaking. Whatever you speak about, you speak into existence. You're speaking it into existence. So they're telling you, listen, prayer works, but what are you praying for? And what you're talking about is your prayer. So if I were to say, I would say open your heart, but close your mouth for a bit and speak from your heart. Pray from your heart in terms of the feelings of what you want to feel like. Just emanate more of that. Ask for more of that knowing, that clarity, that calmness, that peacefulness, that joy, that love. Those are the things, because when you bring those things into yourself, everything that's a match to that is going to be all the things that you want. And when I say all the things that you want, I'm not talking about the things that you think you want. I'm talking about what your higher self and your soul want. Okay? So that is what they're saying. Let me just see if I think they've got one more final for you. And then we'll wrap it up. Final message, please. Final message for this collective tonight. This always happens. I ask for a final message and I get 5 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So, they are talking about foods. They're talking about what you consume. Okay, basically is they're asking you to focus on consuming more organic, and that's not just consumption of food consumption. They're talking about mental consumption as well, relationship consumption. So they're asking for some more meditation, okay, because they're seeing that there's a need for that. This one says change positions. So again, we are not telling you to change your physician. I'm not telling you to change your physician. This is just some guidance that says, thank you for leading me to the best healer for this situation. We're not telling you not to take medication. We're not telling you not to see your doctor. But they are saying that you might want to look into who you're getting your information, your guidance from, and who's leading you through your health journey, because they might not be the right person for you, okay? And lastly, they're asking you because they see that you are not, expect a miracle, Thank you for your miraculous intervention and healing energy to restore your health or the health of someone else. This is something that you can do. If you don't ask for miracles, you can't get them. If you don't believe in miracles, you won't see them. It's simple. It's something that I say to you guys all the time, okay? So allow that to happen, whether that's healing for yourself or other people. You can certainly ask for those miracles. I'm living proof. My dad, January 2023, they gave him 3 to 6 months. We're almost at January 2025, and my father is still alive. So I can tell you that I most certainly, you guys know, that I asked for miracles. I did what I did. I believed in what I believed in, and I've seen the results. So, govern yourselves accordingly when it comes to yourself and your loved ones, but kind of take it in your own hands, and more so than that, in your own heart, okay? I want to let you guys know, I'll send out a message, but I'm going to be opening up the Insiders community, which is the paid community that you guys all free access to until the 11th of January. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you guys an email, and I'm going to say to you, once you get in there and you've made it in, then you'll be allowed in. You want in, we'll give you in, and once you're in there, if we hear from you, we'll keep you in there. But if we don't hear from you, we're going to move you off the list, because I want to keep the energy of this community one that is one of desire and people really wanting to be here. So once you get that, let us know that you're here. We'll give you access. I'll find a way. I haven't exactly figured that out, but you'll get the email with the instructions on what to do, and then join the community. I want to start teaching, because I want to get more into sharing the concepts and the actual material and content that is going to help you to really further, create your own realities, your new realities, and the things that you want to experience. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I think that's all that I have to say for now, but I will see you guys on the next one. If you do watch this, because I noticed there are views here, can you guys just leave me a comment or a like for a couple of reasons? One, it lets me know that you're seeing these lives, so I know that they're getting to you guys. Two, it's going to help me build traction here on YouTube, which is something going forward I'm looking to build. And 3, just so I can say hi to you guys, okay? If you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. In the meantime and in between time, remember, everything is energy, so be the energy you wish to see. It's with my pure love and appreciation. I thank you guys all for being the people of Energy City, for being the community. I'll see you guys on the next one. Lights up, Empress out. Love you guys. Good night. And I'm going to try to gracefully end this